I look quite racially ambiguous. I get asked almost daily, where are you from? And I could say the UK, but I know that's not the answer they want to hear. They want to know, where are you really from? Where are your parents from? These days, I just ask them to guess, purely because I enjoy watching the panic on a person's face, because guessing someone's ethnicity wrong is one of the worst things you can do and makes you a racist. I also get a lot of comments on YouTube asking, how did this Mexican get a British accent?
Hello, good evening. We're down in the Brick Lane with this fella, and I'm about to guess where he's from.
Excellent, go on.
Iceland.
Iceland, no, wrong.
No, it's good guessing again.
Chinese.
It's either Korean or like Hawaiian.
Yes.
South Korea. Turkey.
Turkey, no. Thailand.
Yeah.
Colombia.
Italian.
Iran. What do you think? Japan.
Mauritius.
That's a new one though, I've never heard Mauritius.
Turkestan.
Where am I from? Name a country.
Be Korean, it could be Sri Lanka, places like that.
Tunisia.
Algeria. Thailand.
Peru.
Venezuelan.
No.
It looks like El Chapo, though, isn't it?
Growing up half Asian was interesting. I'm half Filipino on my mother's side and half British on my father's side. I grew up in a sheltered British town, and boy was that an experience. Dealing with small town attitudes is hard enough, but I was an Asian kid stereotype. I ate rice every day, I was good at maths, and my idols were Mulan, Jackie Chan, and Goku. I always found it really weird how Asian kids were always naturally drawn to anime. I don't even think that 4-year-old me could even comprehend that anime is from the same continent as my ancestors. If I ever met another Asian kid, I would always use the same icebreaker and it would always work. When I started school, I only knew basic English. My first language was Cebuano, a Filipino dialect. My school persuaded my mama to only talk to me in English at home because they told her Filipino is not a useful language in the UK. And as a foreigner trying to give her son the best opportunity to thrive in this country, she listened to their xenophobic advice. And as a result, I can't remember my first language. Just like Dev Patel in the film Lion. Early on, I was very much raised by my mother, and my upbringing wasn't very British. A typical breakfast for me was rice, whatever meat we had left over from last night's dinner, with a fried egg slapped on top. I remember being so anxious about not knowing what sausage rolls or shepherd's pie were. All I knew were noodles and chicken adobo. I went to an all-boys public school, and that was a little bit rough. I was one of maybe 3 non-white kids in my year. I remember one time in geography, there was a picture of an East Asian rice paddy farmer in the textbook, and one kid pointed at it and yelled, "Hey look, it's Ray's mum." And everyone laughed, even the teacher. Even though I was quite used to racial bullying at the time, this joke really got me. But to be fair, my mum was a rice paddy farmer when she was a kid. This other time, this kid saved his rice from lunchtime just so he could throw it at my mum's car while doing a horrible stereotypical Chinese accent. And being in a sheltered town, kids weren't even good at being racist. They'd call me a terrorist. That's a wrong, horrible stereotype. And also when I went to the Philippines to visit family, I'd encounter racism there too. I'd have a lot of random women approach me and praise me on my lighter skin tone. It's really messed up, but in a lot of countries with brown people, they really glorify and aspire for European characteristics. Because I didn't grow up there or speak one of the bajillion dialects that they have in the Philippines, Filipinos just see me as white. And when I come back to the UK, they just see me as foreign. So there's nowhere where I really feel accepted. Being half Asian is like a racist lottery. If you're anything less than a slightly pale Asian person, you're just white. And on top of that, I have to put up with Asians who see Filipinos as inferior Asians. Also, not many British people know anything about Filipino culture. Does anyone know where the Philippines is? This feeling of being racially inferior really messed me up as a kid. When I was about 14, I would actually lie about where I was from. I tell people that I was part Filipino and part Japanese, because not only do white people know about Japanese culture, they eat that shit up. White society will happily settle for bland imitation chicken teriyaki because of how much they fetishize the Japanese culture. And I'm looking at you, Wagamama. Anyway, I desired that sweet, sweet white society approval. And the worst thing about whenever I told someone I was part Japanese was how they used to react. It would always be, "I've always wanted to go to Japan. I love anime. Kawaii desu, senpai, notice me." That's a really weird way to react to someone's ethnicity. And if I just said Filipino, I wouldn't get the same response. I think Ali Wong summed it up quite well.
The fancy Asians are the Chinese, the Japanese. They get to do fancy things like host Olympics. Jungle Asians host diseases. It's different.
If someone here in the UK was aware of the stereotypes of Filipinos, they're probably all negative. Drugs, tsunamis, illegal sex trade. Sometimes I can tell when I tell someone I'm half Filipino, they're probably assuming that my father is some lonely British man with an Asian fetish who bought a bride who wanted to flee her life of poverty. This always breaks my heart because that makes my existence the offspring of this frowned upon fake relationship. And I had amazing parents who loved each other, so don't make horrible assumptions about the combination of their skin color. My mother left her culture and way of life and spent years putting up with so much ignorance. I was the only thing in this country that she could share her culture with, and she watched me slowly forget her language, start requesting sandwiches in my lunchbox instead of rice, and I was even embarrassed of her picking me up from school. And she never complained about it once. Watching someone who raised you, loves you, go through so much prejudice really hurts. The importance of how you identify racially is completely up to you. I grew up with such a pressure to fit in, but now I'm proud to be half Filipino. And for me, reconnecting with my Filipino heritage is my way of showing respect for everything my mum sacrificed for me. And also I wanted a label to put on my Twitter bio that makes me sound a little bit more interesting. This was a video that I've been really anxious about posting, so thank you so much for watching. If any of this resonated with you, or if you could relate to anything I spoke about in this video, feel free to share your story in the comments, or even send me a message on Twitter or on my Discord. It would just be amazing to begin a dialogue. I'd also like to thank a few people. My friend Leo did all the illustrations and animation for this video, and also listened to me endlessly during the writing stage, and I don't quite know how to thank them for their really wonderful work and friendship. Zus Varman did all of the original music for this video. They are an impeccable rapper and make some of the slickest beats. They deserve all of the love. Thank you to my friends Miles and Helen for helping me film this video. Thank you to Delphi and Gabs for inspiring me to put my feelings out there. Also thank you to Nathan Zed for speaking on the ethnicity and diversity panel at SITSI back in like 2017 and literally making me realize how many others have suppressed their own culture. Finally, thank you to my patrons on Patreon for supporting me and helping me produce the videos that I am passionate about. I just feel really supported and surrounded by the love right now. It's really wonderful. Also, I just wanted to say that yes, I have faced racism and issues with my racial identity, but it's unparalleled to the sheer hateful discrimination towards black communities within Western society. I've included some links in the description for how you can help support the Black Lives Matter movement and become more anti-racist. It is 2020. Being not racist isn't enough. To bring forth equality, we're going to have to be more anti-racist with our actions and contributions to society. Anyway, thank you again for watching the video.
You give up? Yeah, what are you from?
I'm half Filipino.
Oh my days! I'm so close! Very close, very close.
Philippines and Asia?
Oh, you got it right! Yeah? You got it right, yeah. Good job, man.
Should have said, can you sing really well?
That's a good one.
And I was like, oh, I know where he's from. Do you know where Old Street is, by the way?
Old Street, yes, I do.
Actually, I'm used to it. I don't know how to read these things. Where does this tell me to go?
Sending you to go that way and then left.
Wow.